Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather on behalf of A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling. We're getting to the cold weather season almost, and will your heater be able to hold up for this winter season? Check them out, a1fincham.com. I got more on them coming up here in a second. But let me get to the visibility issues. We have some fog in Granger. Looks like Union and Claiborne County especially. If we look at Middlesboro, Bell County, visibility is down to about a mile. It does not appear to be an issue in parts around the airport. There's 10 miles visibility, but it still looks pretty good in terms of that. Now, I did add a stray shower into the forecast this afternoon and evening, as we will have an abundance of clouds, a little bit of ground clutter on the ultimate Doppler radar, as we mentioned from A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling. I have all their information at the top of this Facebook post, but what I find very fascinating, A1 Fincham is in fact focused on customer satisfaction. That's one of the things that impressed me most. They won't quit until you're happy, and they're family owned and operated since 1982. It was James Fincham who started his company, family owned, and you can check them out at a1fincham.com. You know, dirty sock syndrome can be common at the end of the summer season. No, I'm not talking about your laundry. I'm talking about the smell that can come from your AC unit. Sometimes when bacteria and mold grow, and they do, you can have some foul-smelling odors coming from your air conditioner. So whether it's moisture or dust or dirt buildup, bacteria, mold, and mildew can play a role, and you can actually avoid this with a clean coil indoor to avoid the dirty sock syndrome. But A1 Fincham is always on the job if you just give them a call at 947-4267. So I just wanted to pass that along to you as my sponsor. Very happy to have them along with this weather segment today. Radar is showing some frost concerns from West Virginia to Ohio and into Indiana as we are live on both Facebook and YouTube. I want to call and check out with you and say hello, good morning if you're on the call. Are you expecting a little bit of rain? Would that surprise you? My anticipation is most of the rain today will be late in the afternoon or evening, primarily in the Smokies, Southern Valley, possibly Plateau. If we get a few showers into Knox County, I might be surprised, but I don't expect much. It's probably 20% chance or less today, but I still expect temperatures in the upper 60s. Knoxville, still the low 70s. But if you're on the call, if you're on YouTube, I see Marilyn Bell's over here. Good morning, Marilyn. Happy Wednesday, everyone, she says. And Steve Stone says good morning on my YouTube channel. Back to Facebook we go. I got some comments that might be over here. I see Fred. He says good morning, David. Danny says go Vols. It's a big weekend, isn't it? I mean, the Aggies coming to town, that's a seller, right? Everyone's going to be focused on that game, and I've got that forecast coming up. But Danny, thank you and good morning. Have a wonderful day, he says. Janet Potts says good morning. She says we are enjoying this beautiful day. Wanda Poe says get them in. So before, she's hoping it gets to snow pretty soon. I know there's some winter fans out there that are just ready to bypass the rest of fall. That's sometimes the way it goes. A couple of rain showers now moving across the Midwest near Missouri, and a lot more rain stretching across Houston. Now, there has been a decaying hurricane named Lydia that has rolled into the central part of Mexico. May not play as much of a role in this weather maker, but it might just add a little more oomph, a little more moisture as it rolls across central Mexico, as it rolls into Houston and heads toward Florida over the next 24 hours. So keep an eye on that. There's no doubt we're 2 or 3 inches below normal for the month. We are so dry, the orange areas, while we love Go Big Orange, this map, the legend does not speak well. We probably could use quite a bit of rain. Unfortunately, it's not in the forecast. We have maybe a stray shower today, probably another round of it coming in on Saturday morning. But as far as quantity, it's lacking. There's just not a lot of moisture. Even though it could be in the forecast, you're just not going to wet the palate. Maybe just wet the palate. It's not going to cure all the dryness issues that we're embattled with. Again, most of the dry weather we see in autumn usually occurs in the month of October. So this is kind of the way it goes. Temperatures right now, he says, right now are at 50 degrees in Knoxville. It's 46 in Oak Ridge, 46 in Rockwood. I do know that the Crossville Airport's been down, not reporting since about the 20th of September, as they are probably under repair. But 42 in Jamestown. It's currently 46 Morristown, 48 in Newport, and 48 in Madisonville. So many of us starting off in the 40s, a little cool, but we will climb into the upper 60s to low 70s today. The temperature change compared to 6 o'clock actually yesterday would be about 4 degrees cooler. It's about 2 degrees cooler in Crossville this morning as compared to this same exact time yesterday. So a little cooler, but with 40s, it might need a light jacket to get you out the door, and certainly the kids as well. There is still some warmth. In Memphis, they're at 65. It's 39 in Lexington. What? Oh, yeah. 38 in Charleston, 41 in Johnson City. Little hint of some winter, right? That's why they had those frost advisories in the Ohio Valley and parts of West Virginia, as they're a little frosty cold, I'm sure, in parts of the Mountain State and into Ohio, the Buckeye State. Wind speeds, not moving much, but I will tell you what, if they move up 3 to 8 today, that would be about it. Variable this morning, then more likely southwest for the afternoon, as a couple of showers may develop. Now, I did label today as becoming mostly cloudy. Some of the thicker clouds in blue over the last 6 hours are now focused over Morgan County, looks like into parts of Cumberland County, Fentress, but most of this, again, will be filling in, or think of it as increasing clouds, with the possibility of some showers later on. Most of the clouds and the rain, I should say, have come up from the west, southwest, some rain across northern Missouri. That's where we stand. So here's where I expect to be here at 6:46. This is where I expect to be this afternoon. 73 for Knoxville, only the upper 60s for Wartburg, Oneida, 68 for Jamestown, 69 for Crossville, Middlesboro, about 75 for Tellico Plains, as that southwest wind picks up this afternoon, a measly 3 to 8 miles per hour. Won't be terribly windy, but it will be enough to warm us up a little bit. By the way, I want to do a little segment here about the apple orchard time frame of this year. I had the thrill, and I mean thrill, of going to an apple orchard locally on Saturday. Some of you saw my pictures. Maybe that's what's on your radar. Maybe you're ready for a hayride or maybe a pumpkin patch. But we love apples in the Aldrich household, so we had a great time doing that. We went to Buffalo Trail Orchard, 12 miles south of Greenville. You say, I've never heard of that. Well, it's there. It's a beautiful place. In fact, my wife and I were just having a ball. We filled up 2 bags of apples, and you can see in my left hand there, I was already digging into them. They were delicious. Apple butter, apple sauce. Obviously, I think I need to go to a place where I can pick my own. Yeah, there's some out there. They're all across East Tennessee, but we had a great time. And maybe you've gone apple picking. When I did the hayride earlier in the day, of course, we had to have our safety briefing from tractor driver there, Phil. Phil was very cool. But we had a great time on the hayride as well. So maybe you're ready for the fall season. I forgot all about the safety. I didn't know not to stand up doing a hayride's moving, but I did have a great time taking some pictures, as you may have seen. Anyway, apple orchard time. 'Tis the season. Are you having fun this fall season? I hope so, because I'm going to get now to probably one of your favorite segments, which is the fall color. I know some of you love fall color. Getting to that update here. That's next. I want to say hi to Wanda. She says, I showed my manager. She says, at Weigel's Other People, your app. They liked it. I told them you're a good man and weatherman. Thank you, Wanda. You're very sweet. Happy Wednesday, says Felicia. Yesterday was beautiful in Pigeon Forge, says Felicia, with the kiddos at fall break. Have a great day. This is another great day to spend some time, maybe on fall break with the kids at a hayride or an apple orchard. And Janet Potts saying, good morning. We're enjoying this beautiful day. Back to YouTube. I see Felicia's over here. She says, happy Wednesday. She says Friday has their Big Orange Pep Rally in South Knoxville. Love it. So if you're having a good time, and I hope you are, this is really, 'tis a season to seize the day. Now, these colors, I tell you what, are just breathtaking. Anytime, and think about it, people travel for miles and miles just to come to East Tennessee to see the fall color. And depending on the time, whether it's early October, mid-October, or late October, you can have a vastly different experience as far as what you see. But whether it's rolling green grass, yellow trees, orange trees, maybe it's just all coming down at once. I recognize that, but there are things that we watch in meteorology, and then, of course, if you're an arborist, you also know that it's better to be cool at night than warm, and you know it's better to be wet than dry, because that can have an impact on the colors that you experience during the fall season. So temperature, light, and moisture, 3 ingredients or keys to a great or fantastic season. You want the warm, sunny days. We've had those. And we're dealing with some cool, crisp nights. We've had a couple of nights what appear to be in the 30s, if not 40s for a while. But what you want to avoid, which we've done for most cases, we want to avoid the freezing number of 32. So if it's not freezing, this can lead to a pretty good season. So let me give you an update on fall color this week around the country, and then we'll come back, bring it back home. There have been some areas in Burgundy that have now passed peak in the Rockies and in many parts of, say, Montana or Wyoming. Might be around Salt Lake City, but maybe not in Salt Lake City, and in parts of the mountains of California, where they also have now reached peak or past peak. The same is true in Wisconsin. In northern Minnesota, they've reached past peak in some cases, but maybe very well be at their glorious point. Of course, Maine has had several tropical storms in the last month. Most recently, well, they had Lee, and then they had Philippe what was left of him, so there might be fewer leaves on these trees, but I can tell you it still looks beautiful there in New England and possibly even into the Adirondacks at this point. But from Evan Fisher, Explore Fall, they would put us around the Horseshoe, where we have probably more color in yellow and less here in the valley. It's just kind of the way it goes. But maybe you're seeing something different. Let me know. Post a picture in the David Aldrich Weather Group. Would love to see you there. Next week, things may change dramatically. A lot more color will have passed in the Smokies, excuse me, in the Rockies. The Sierra Nevadas, all the way up toward the Pacific Northwest. They may have seen the best of their color pass. Areas from Minneapolis may be peaking, but areas north of Minneapolis, St. Paul may be past peak. And it looks like by this time next week, most of New England, at least the higher terrain, will have seen the best of days behind them, but West Virginia, pretty close by, most likely going to be peaking there, and much more color through the Smokies as we typically see in that third week in October. But more color is coming to a neighborhood near you. Sunrise, sunset today, just get you out the door at 6:51. It goes down, comes up, I should say, at 7:39. It'll be going down at 7:06. 7:06 is when it'll be going down, so we are getting a lot shorter in terms of days. Bus stop forecast. What can you expect as the kids? We say, my kids are on fall break. Very true. But some might still be going to school, and if at very least you get the timeline, should be around 56 at 10, 69 at 2, for those of you that might be headed to school today and maybe have fall break at another time. A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling does recommend some cool tips. Changing your filters monthly. That's a cool tip because you know what? It can actually preserve your heating and cooling system. Check for drafts in your home and seal them. Sounds pretty basic, but it is something that you can do fairly easily. Consider more insulation. Older homes typically need more. This can also help you when it gets really cold this winter, and hint, hint, it will. Clear the area around the condenser unit. Make sure mow around it, but make sure it's clear and not having a lot of grass and other types of weeds growing around it. But you also want to use a programmable thermostat. Just 4 to 7 degrees down in winter or up in summer. It can save you money having a programmable thermostat. And of course, schedule regular maintenance checks because, as I mentioned, if you sign up for the A1 Fincham monthly maintenance plan, what I love about this is it will give you discounts. If you're a senior or a veteran, they do upfront pricing, they're accurate estimates, and they will come once out before winter and once before summer just to do a maintenance check. They're very thorough. You can pay on it monthly, but it's very accommodating, and I love it because they have been doing this since 1982. They are family owned and operated. I love it. But a1fincham.com. Give them a call, 947-4267. Back to the weather as we've been talking about the monthly maintenance plan. A1 Fincham is here to serve you. The headlines look like this. Clouds. I've added some stray showers today. Boo. Yeah, well, some of you are like, yay, bring it. Don't make it stray. Make it a gully washer. Sadly, that's not expected today. But if you do get a drop of rain late afternoon into the evening, don't be surprised now. Becoming mostly sunny on Thursday. There could be some residual clouds, probably through 7 or 8 a.m. But best chance of rain comes Saturday morning, which may not be great news for tailgaters. I think the game is going to be fine. This is my Texas A&M Tennessee forecast. Go Big Orange. Of course, they're 4-2. We're 4-1. Kickoff, I got us at 71. This is a 3:30 start. Halftime, about 73, but some rain before the game can be and should be anticipated. But it should be turning sunny by the time the game starts, which is most important, right? And the winds will pick up 5 to 15 out of the west-southwest. Got a couple of notes from Ed. Hello, Ed. I got another storm named Sean to talk about. But Ed, good morning. He says, have a great day. Felicia and Janet are on here as well. If you haven't heard, we have a new storm named Sean. Sean is that little big red blob in the center of your screen. We also had Lydia. That would be Lidia. In the Pacific, that is now stretching across central Mexico and is kind of fueling some of the rain that might be coming into Texas or into Texas and Florida here in the next 12 to 24 hours. But some of the energy is now beginning to be frayed there. But meanwhile, here's Sean. He's got winds of 40. He's moving west-northwest at 13 miles per hour, and Sean may be an underperformer because by the time we get to this weekend, he may be weakening even more to a tropical depression. May not be talking about Sean much by this time next week, but we'll keep an eye on Sean. Even Philippe tend to live on for quite some time. And there's another disturbance coming off of Africa that the Hurricane Center has labeled a 20% chance. 20% chance of something developing there, so we'll wait and see. All the same, as we've watched the tropics, the names, we've got Tammy, Vince and Whitney on the On Deck Circle. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I hope you'll do so. It's youtube.com/@CaptainAccurate. Speaking of YouTube, love the fact that some of you have discovered my channel here. If you're on the YouTube channel, let me know, because I love to be able to expand my reach. And most of you who've been on here, Felicia talking about Happy Wednesday, Steve Stone saying good morning, Happy Wednesday from Maryland. Glad to have you all here, as we're now up to 4 people watching. I mean, it's nice. It's a good start, right? Because for years, that's all I've done was Facebook, but I wanted to be able to do more on the YouTube front as well. It is now 50 degrees at McGee Tyson. No wind to speak of. We've got more clouds on the increase. Even though I've left a 20% chance today, I think the chance really spikes to 60 come Saturday morning, and then another 30% chance of rain possible on Tuesday. But when you look at the big scheme of things, every drop that we get is needed. Every drop that we get would be beneficial, no doubt. Here's the Valley Planner. Normal high, 74, becoming mostly cloudy today. I expect the stray showers, if they develop, will be late in the afternoon and toward the evening hours, which we'll look at Futurecast and show you how that lines up, at least from the latest run. Storm Prediction Center, not showing much in the way of local severe weather, even thunderstorms, but there are some hot spots in Florida today. If you have family in Tampa, you have a family in Orlando, maybe you've got fall break down here, maybe you're watching me from Florida, will likely be some scattered severe storms in yellow, all the way up toward the Big Bend of Florida into Tampa, St. Pete. Orlando may have some isolated severe storms today. Same is true for Omaha, Des Moines, and Peoria, Illinois, for some isolated severe storms, including Sioux City, and then nothing going on here today. Tomorrow, those same spots might continue to grow. Down to the south, we've got some scattered severe storms in Tampa and Orlando. So active weather for the Sunshine State, and also down toward or over toward Omaha and west of Kansas City especially. Thursday doesn't look wet weather here. We've got sunshine, and then one more spot for Friday. That would include Chicagoland and St. Louis and Peoria for some isolated severe storms. So that's where things are setting up as we head into the end of the work week, and then we've got some rain coming in on Saturday morning. So here's the Futurecast. You've noticed the big area of high pressure, it starts to buckle, it moves away, and the rain that stretches from Mississippi, Alabama, moves toward Atlanta. And that's going to bring not only an increase in clouds, but maybe that stray shower for the Southern Valley, the Smokies, and Plateau. Because the warm front could also spawn a stray shower for maybe Jamestown, maybe Oneida, maybe Crossville as well. But again, this is going to be, I think, a little bit overdone. The heavier rains in yellow should be around Augusta and Atlanta as it begins to push away this evening. Once it does so, I think we'll become mostly sunny on Thursday. I don't expect rain to be an issue tomorrow, as we'll make it toward 80. Tomorrow's going to be the warm day of the week. And then here comes the cold front from St. Louis. It's going to move in from Memphis, and that may produce, and should produce, some rain showers coming in on Saturday morning as it sweeps in like a broom. So here's another look at the Futurecast closer up, but a different algorithm, different set of equations being modeled here. It's really the high clouds that advance to start first thing this morning, and then they start to become lower clouds as the day wears on. Now, 2 o'clock, maybe this verifies, maybe this is just Virga and doesn't reach the ground. But it does bring some of that rain into Athens, Tellico Plains, and maybe the Smokies. Then it starts to pull away. Here's 3 o'clock, which is why I said a stray shower might be generous. But then there's some wet weather that tries to form in the plateau toward evening. That's 4 o'clock. That's 5 o'clock. Okay, this is a little more aggressive. Shows some rain around, say, Wartburg and Jamestown. But I think even this might be overstated. There's still some possibility of rain for evening plans tonight, and then if it moves into Knox County, we'll take every drop we get because it's pretty much done before 11 p.m. in most cases, if it develops at all. Early clouds tomorrow, like so, 9 a.m., starts to disappear. We're left with mostly sunny skies as I see it on Thursday afternoon, with temperatures around 80 degrees. So it's now 6:59. It's time for your forecast. High of 73. 80s tomorrow. 73, more clouds. Stray showers come in late, winds about 3 to 8 miles per hour. Looking for high in the upper 60s for Oneida at 69. 69 for Crossville, Cumberland County. 73 for Athens, 75 for Tellico Plains, and 73 for Newport, Dandridge, and Jeff City. About 75 for Chattanooga today if you're traveling on fall break. Only 71 for Charlotte, and more wet weather for Atlanta if you're headed down toward central Georgia. Tonight we're down to 53. That's a bump up 2 degrees from where I was. I was at 51, but with these clouds and the evening showers, we may not get much lower than 53 in town with light and variable winds. 52 for La Follette, 51 for Morristown, 50 for a low in Crossville overnight tonight, as well as Jamestown. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. 80 degrees on Thursday. Of course, we're all looking at the big game against A&M this Saturday. I do suspect with 73 as an afternoon high, most if not all of the rain should be confined in the morning hours. And hopefully, if the rain gets out of here before 1 p.m., hopefully, then maybe we have some hope to see a little bit more on that annual solar eclipse. I talked about that in last night's video. I did not spend any time this morning on it because I covered it yesterday. I'll revisit again later this week. But again, if you're watching the ball game from Neyland, I don't think you probably want the sunglasses. You won't need the umbrella. You will need it if you're doing some morning tailgating on Saturday itself. So that's where we stand on the forecast. Very thankful for you. As I'm looking at some other of your comments, Ed says good morning, and Wanda says, will the wind get up with the rain coming? Probably not a whole lot. I have winds tonight moving about 0 to 5, so it's really kind of a slow mover as it's really traveling to our south as we're watching very closely. By the way, if you haven't picked up a note that your air conditioning unit and your heating unit this winter may need some service, just like your car needs a tune-up, an oil change. Very important to have preventative maintenance care for your heating and air conditioning system. A1 Fincham is who I recommend. Heating and cooling, they've been around since 1982. They have a phone number of 947-4267, and check out their A1 Fincham monthly maintenance plan. Tell them Captain Accurate sent you. You might be in the market for a new heating and air conditioning company. They've been around since 1982 from Powell, Tennessee. They're local, locally owned and operated. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.